Hi, I'm Brian. Kettle's on, make yourself a cup of tea. Now today I want to talk about Spider-Man, and more specifically Tom Holland's Spider-Man staying for another 3 movies within the MCU. It was confirmed yesterday that Sony and Marvel have agreed to continue working together for Spider-Man films after No Way Home is released, and this article is from comicbook.com. Now it says, Tom Holland's Spider-Man staying in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has a home in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Holland, who entered the MCU as a rebooted Spider-Man in 2016's Captain America Civil War, recently suggested he might move on from the role after completing his contract. With the release of Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios' co-production Spider-Man No Way Home, the now 25-year-old actor reprised the role in 2017's Spider-Man Homecoming and 2018's Avengers Infinity War, where he was under the mentorship of Iron Man, playing Peter Parker again in 2019's Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. According to Sony Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal, Holland's wall crawler will remain in the MCU after No Way Home swings into theatres on December 17th. This is not the last movie we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie, Pascal told Fandango. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. We are thinking of this as 3 films, and we are going to go into the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies. Under the leadership of Kevin Feige, Disney's Marvel Studios entered into a 5-film pact with Sony Pictures that expired with the release of Far From Home in 2019. The 2 studios renegotiated and renewed that deal later that year, guaranteeing a 3rd Spider-Man movie and at least 1 more appearance in a Marvel Studios movie. But Holland, in recent weeks, has cast doubt on his Spider-Man future after No Way Home, where an unmasked Peter Parker asks Doctor Strange to make the world forget he's Spider-Man after his secret identity is exposed by Mysterio. Maybe it's time for me to move on. Maybe what's best for Spider-Man is they do a Miles Morales film, Holland told GQ, of Parker's Spidey successor. I have to take Peter Parker into account as well, because he's an important part of my life, but if I'm playing Spider-Man after I'm 30, I've done something wrong. Earlier this year, Holland said he would no longer be under contract with Sony after No Way Home, and that the creative team was treating the threequel as the end of the franchise. But Sony has big plans for the Marvel multiverse, cracked wide open in No Way Home, even setting up a crossover between Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom in a post-credit scene ending Venom Let There Be Carnage. No Way Home would be my last one under contract, so I've always said to them, if they want me back, I'll be there in a heartbeat. Holland said in a February interview, I've loved every minute of being in this amazing world. It's changed my life for the better. I'm so lucky to be here. If they want me back, I'll be there. If they don't, I will walk off into the sunset a very, very happy person, because it's been an amazing journey. So there we have it. Sony's Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal has confirmed that Sony and Marvel will be working together for at least another 3 Spider-Man films. Do I think it's a good thing that Tom Holland is continuing on as Spider-Man? Yes, I do. I think Spider-Man has been rebooted many times in its short life of being films. I mean, he's the 3rd person to play Spider-Man in less than 20 years. So I think having Spider-Man recast again would have been a mistake. Obviously there are alternative Spider-Man movies they could have made. Tom Holland himself has stated that maybe they should do a Miles Morales Spider-Man, but there's no reason they couldn't do Miles Morales alongside with Tom Holland. They are both different versions of the character that both exist at the same time. I do think it's good that they've been able to negotiate to continue to work together, especially with the Venom movies doing well, and as it said in the article, the crossover tease in the end credit scene of Venom, and with the Morbius film coming out, maybe they'll link that over to the MCU as well. The potential downside of this is I do think it's going to get very convoluted and messed up if Sony and Marvel continue working together, with Tom Holland being in the MCU and then Sony's doing the Venom films and the Morbius film. The Morbius trailer looked really good. That looks a lot better than I imagined it was going to. But like I was saying, with Tom Holland and Spider-Man being in the MCU, Sony doing other standalone films with potential crossing over into the MCU, I think it's going to get a bit mixed up. I think there's going to be a lot of potential confusion going on, just trying to connect it all together. And I don't know if that will work or not, but we will have to wait and see. I mean, Tom Holland isn't my favourite Spider-Man. My favourite Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. He is, in my eyes, still the best Spider-Man that we've had. But I know a lot of people out there do like Tom Holland as Spider-Man and do view him as their Spider-Man. And the fact that they're going to get more of him now is a good thing. But we'll have to wait and see where the MCU do take the character after No Way Home. See what the next set of movies are going to be. I imagine this is also a relief for Marvel, as the last 3 films, Black Widow, Shang-Chi and Eternals, haven't done great, but everyone's looking forward to No Way Home. It's going to easily be the best performing Marvel movie this year. I've no doubt about that. So I think Marvel being able to continue working with Sony with the character of Spider-Man is a relief to them. They know they've got an absolute bankable character as long as they don't do anything too crazy with it. But what do you guys think? Are you happy that Tom Holland's being kept on as Spider-Man for some more films? Would you have liked to have seen someone else take the role or the character take a rest for a while? Do let me know in the comments below. And that's all from me. I'm off to make a fresh cup of tea.